She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Thanks for joining the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for choosing to watch this today. All of us here, all of us, this entire team that it takes to be able to produce this particular show, we're really blessed that you choose to tune in daily. But more importantly, we are blessed that you choose to take the steps that you're learning every day and passing it on to other people. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, we challenge you to defy status quo of success. There's a big giant facade out there. So many people just chasing their tails and going after things that really don't matter to them. And here we challenge you to really think about your life and your design, what you were made for. You were knitted together in your mother's womb perfectly with everything it takes to succeed at what you're called to. Perfectly put together with every part, even including the way you think. It was put together to bring you to the place where you are right now. And we want you to live out your destiny. You know, there are millions, if not billions, of grave sites that are filled with aborted destinies. Filled. Where people never found it, didn't have the courage to step out towards it, just settled for less. Settled for nothing. But that's not going to be you. You found this show because you're called to something greater, bigger, higher. You are called to live out your destiny. And your destiny impacts the lives of those around you and the lives that you're about to meet. Speaking of meeting people, today is Tuesday. And on a Tuesday, we talk about tips for succeeding in your career or your business. So we were going to have some tips for you today, especially in the job interview category. If you happen to be one of those people where you're an employer and you are the one doing the interviews, and or you're the person who's interviewing for jobs and you keep striking out, today you're going to find that middle ground that is going to help you. So whether you're the business owner like myself who've been doing a lot of interviews, in fact, last year we had over 600 applications that our team went through to fill one single role. There's going to be probably another 1,000 applications in 2018 that we will be looking through to find the next set of team members that we want to have a part of this team that's going to help take us into the next generation of what we are doing for our business, which our goal is to reach 100 million lives. We want to impact and change and inspire 100 million lives. We want to see people come out of debt. We want to see people strong spiritually. We want to see people strong in their hot marriages. We want to see people raise the next generation to be groomed for success instead of being groomed to fail. And I'm not talking about a haircut. I'm talking about every area of their life: finances, emotional, people skills, work ethic, all of these things that seem to be not being passed down into the next generation. So we want to do our part in making a difference in the world, and we want to call you to doing the same thing, you doing your part to make a difference in the world. And this right here, I'm telling you, is a real problem. You know, largely employees determine whether or not a business is going to succeed. And the owner determines it as well. It is a co-laboring with each other. Generally, owners are afraid to hire people because they've been burned too many times. And generally, we have people who are out there in the job market looking for jobs and can't seem to find the right fit. So I want to hopefully build a bridge between the two today so that we can clear up the fog and have some direction to know how we can succeed in getting that new income or finding that career where we belong. So I don't know if you know this, but 33% of bosses know within the first 90 seconds of an interview whether they will hire somebody. That's from undercoverrecruiter.org. 33%. I'm not one of those. I don't know within 90 seconds. I'm not going to make a decision that fast. But again, I'm a business owner. I teach people skills. I've studied a lot on people skills. I take a long time before making a decision on hiring somebody. I vet somebody out for a really long time. I'm going to check your Facebook page. So again, listen to me. I'm giving you the behind the scenes as someone who's recruiting for high level executive positions. My team is charged with recruiting some of the other positions, the other team members, and their positions. But I think that if everybody used the same tactics, they would have less bad hires and they would have greater success with recruiting great talent. And I'm happy to say that last year we brought in some incredible talent. In fact, of which one has been added to the Dani Johnson Show. And wow, her name is Trisha Small. She's an itty bitty little tiny gorgeous blonde thing. For now a couple more days, she's going to be a redhead soon. But anyway, the point is that she's incredibly talented, very gifted, incredible content writer. She's a co-producer of the show. She's also a blogger, helps us out with everything on our blog. If you ever get a chance to meet her, you got to meet her. If she's at an event, you definitely want to track her down and get to meet her. But she's been amazing. But mind you that her direct report, Brian Niederhaus, he went through hundreds and hundreds of applications to find this one diamond in the rough who has proven to be an incredible asset to the overall team. We're blessed by her. From what I understand, she's blessed by the work that she's doing as well. I'm sure she's nodding her head right now, or at least she should be. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so we want to give you like kind of the insider. Let's go in on the inside of this thing, and we're going to talk about people who don't interview well, people who do interview well. What are the tricks of the trade? And that's going to help both the bosses. And I hate using that term, and I don't like it when anyone calls me a boss. But let's first go to Shelley. She kind of has a humorous story on the worst interview or the worst interview experience that she's ever had. Shelley from Illinois, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
So, come on, tell us. Was this a bad experience? Was it a good experience? Tell me about it.
Okay, so it was all going well. I was interviewing, and I was referred by somebody in the same industry.
Which is what? What's your industry?
It was in the past. This is the past interview story.
Sure.
It was in the mortgage banking industry.
Okay, cool.
But
and
like any field, it's a very small world. So,
yeah, it's true. Yep.
So anyway, I went on this interview. It went really well. And prior to getting back in my car and heading back on the road, I asked to use the ladies' room. And I went to use the ladies' room, and I flushed the toilet, and it didn't flush. And I was kind of freaked out. So I waited till it, filled back up again. And then I took the seat, the very top of the canister.
No way!
Put my hand in there, and I just kind of wanted to help that little, lever along, and the whole thing broke.
Oh, what do you mean the whole thing broke?
It just kind of crumbled, the whole mechanism with the ball on top, the little lever with the ball, and water started shooting up like so powerfully that it went off the ceiling. And it was just like cascading and getting me sopping wet. And I put my hand in there and I grabbed it, and I was holding on to this little piece of it in the base of this tank. And I started freaking out.
Oh, my gosh. Hold on a second.
So I thought, I'm going to wait till it fills again, and then maybe it'll stop. So I waited for all the water to fill, and I took my hand, and it started shooting out again. And I thought, oh, my gosh, I'm going to have to get the top back on this and get some help, because now it's starting to flood.
Oh, my gosh.
And my hair is drenched. And my food is drenched. And so and I had put the top over on the floor about 3 feet away. So meanwhile, I had to run and put the top on, and the water's just going everywhere. And I get the top on, and so it's not, flying all over the place. And I go out, and I said, I need some help in here. And the lady said, I'll get a plunger. And I said, no, I need serious help right now. And so the two owners, Tim and Kathy, came in, and they were like, oh, my God, you've got to turn the water off. So they had to turn the water off in the whole building.
Oh, my gosh.
And meanwhile, water is flowing. It's going under the walls. People are moving their computers. And so I'm just standing there like a drowned rat.
Oh, my
God. Well, I guess if you don't need me anymore, I'm going to get back on the road. So I got home. I was mortified. I called my friend who referred me. And I said, I just felt like I was in the I Love Lucy show.
Seriously?
And I ended up getting a card, and it was a cute little card, and it was like a worker bent over like you saw his plumber butt.
Yes.
I just made a cute little note, and I said, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm sorry. I hope everything is fixed. Enjoyed meeting with you. And I got hired.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, Shelley. This is crazy. Are you serious?
It really was.
I can just picture you as a drowned rat freaking
I know,
out.
I had curly hair, so like all the little ringlets are around my face.
Oh my gosh. And you're dressed professionally for a mortgage banking business.
Yes.
Oh my God. And like, how do you explain this? You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. 'Cause you know what people, obviously the woman, it's like, do you need a plunger? Like,
Right.
How humiliating.
I like when I got out of there, it was, what just happened?
Yeah, you almost blew the place up. Okay, so then this is the part that I think is, first of all, you had to be thinking, there's no way that I'm getting this job.
I did. I went from I want the job to I'm mortified
and never want to see these people.
This is going to be all over everything.
Oh my God.
Everybody's going to know about it. Everybody's going to be laughing about it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm laughing with you.
That's okay. I can laugh about it. I actually laughed about it then after I got over the initial shock.
Oh my gosh. And what's so beautiful about what you did is you played into it, right? You played into it. You didn't run. Right? Hey,
right.
I need some help. That was humility. You led with humility and you were trying to solve the problem on your own, which also showed that you had some leadership. I want you to hold on the line. I want to keep talking about this. This is Dani Johnson. We will continue with more right after this.
OMG. Could you have recovered from that? Find out how Shelley turned it around next on The Dani Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what poverty-stricken families are dealing with in Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic needs of food, clean water, and safe housing. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming Nicaragua. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Nicaragua. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Oh, friend, interview gone bad. Could you imagine? Here's Shelley from Illinois. She's applying for, a pretty moderate level of income and a very, I would say, prestigious type of line of work in the mortgage banking industry. And she's done with the interview. She goes into the bathroom to just, she goes to her car. She's like, I'm going to use the bathroom before I leave. She goes, does her little tinkle, and the toilet pretty much explodes. She just finished giving us a play-by-play what happened. Shelley, thank you so much for being with us. Okay, so you literally ask for help. You are drenched with toilet water.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You're thinking there's no way I'm going to get hired here? Now this is going to be talked about forever, right?
Right.
And it was your friend who referred you, so you know that they probably called him or her that referred you. Oh gosh, how humiliating. But I love what you said that you did, and this was brilliant, that you got a card that you wrote to them with, the plumber's crack.
Right.
And what did you say in the card?
It was so long ago, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was the tone of, recognizing like, I didn't really do this wrong or on purpose. This is just something that happened. And so, just apologizing for creating the turmoil in the office. I hope everything was cleaned up okay. And thank you for the interview.
And they hired you.
They hired me.
Okay, do you have any idea why they hired you? Do you know what you actually showed with that entire situation?
Adaptability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because I was very comfortable just being myself, which I think is really important above everything. And right now I'm also a boss, and I'm a business owner. So the most important thing is I think the energy that people bring to an interview, and even the energy that people interviewing are bringing. Because you want to make sure it's a good fit. So they certainly saw that in me. They saw who I was.
Dripping wet like a rat, right. You said. Okay, but it's more than that. You showed humility. You showed straight up humility, because how would the average person handle that situation? They'd be so mortified and embarrassed and humiliated that they would run, change their phone number, not want anything to do with those people again. But you didn't do that. You could have just exited the bathroom, snuck out the back, and been done with it and let the place flood. That's what most people would do. So let me show you what you showed. And if you're a business owner and you're listening to Shelley and I in this conversation right now, these are some things you want to take some notes on. These are important things that you're looking for in finding the right candidate. And I don't care if it's the warehouse candidate, the receptionist candidate, the food server candidate. I don't care if it's an executive level candidate. It all applies. You're looking for team players, and that's what you showed yourself to be. So in this case with you, Shelley, you didn't run out the back door and not tell anybody, but you actually took responsibility. You asked for help. That was so much harder to ask for help than it was to exit stage left. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that showed humility. That showed that you were a team player. It showed that you took responsibility. There was a problem. You stepped up to solve it right away. And you didn't make excuses. This is amazing that then you even played into the hand of the laughter of the situation, and you made it lighter. You made a very heavy, humiliating, embarrassing situation funny by sending that card with the butt of a plumber on the end of it saying, "Man, I hope everything cleaned up well. Thanks for the interview." Like, who are you? You stood out different, better than any other candidate that they had seen, and who knows how long they were trying to fill that position. And so that's what people are looking for. I know that's what I'm looking for. I know that's what my clients are looking for that have businesses and they're hiring. There's lots of people hiring out there, and there's lots of people looking. But for some reason, there's a major disconnect as to why these two parties are not coming together. And largely, they want to know, is she humble? Is she a team player? Can she be real? Can she own her own mistake, even if she wasn't even the one who caused the mistake? Does she run from the problem, or does she run right in to the toilet? Literally run right into the problem, which is exactly what you did, man. I'm impressed with you. I am absolutely impressed with you. You should have gotten that job. You absolutely should have gotten that job. You are a prize for a company. What a beautiful candidate you were. Yeah. Thanks so much for having the guts to even tell that story. People have had those things happen in their life, but they go to the grave never telling a soul. You know what I mean? But you, again, you have humility. That's what that is. That's straight up humility, which is so important for a business owner to have, for all the employees to have. I love what you shared. I was not expecting this today. So thank you so much, because you just helped somebody. You really just helped. You helped the business owner, and you helped the interviewee. No question about it. Thanks so much, Shelley. Have a great rest of the day. So listen up. We outline all these things in Job Domination. I don't know if you've heard about Job Domination, but it is a powerful, powerful tool on interviewing and then job performance. You might want to check it out. Google it now or go to DaniJohnson.com, Job Domination. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used Job Domination and Unlimited Success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without Job Domination and Unlimited Success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job Domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
My name is Chelsea Drinkard. I am 25 years old and from Tampa, Florida. And like most college students, I was a recent college graduate, got my first big corporate America job that we were told we were supposed to do. But I had a problem. Within the first couple weeks, I found myself crying every single day after work. I thought I was going to get fired. I was on a path to financial destruction, and I had no idea how to communicate with my family or my boss. Within the very first 6 months of plugging into DaniJohnson.com, War in Debt, and First Steps to Success, I annihilated $2,500. And, weird pause. I also increased my value so much by applying First Steps to Success and what you're about to learn right now, gems, that I was offered a promotion, and I received a 10% increase in my pay. When I did decide to leave the business, I became so valuable, the CEO pulled me aside into his office for a private one-on-one meeting, asking me what they could do to keep me. Not only that, since then, I've just started, through War in Debt, I'm hosting War in Debt weekly classes. I'm facilitating War in Debt webinars. I'm living life by design, not by default, like the rest of my other friends who are stuck in debt in their 20s. And not only that, I'm going to Thailand for the 3rd time this November. I'm working with women and children rescued from the sex trafficking. So I don't know about you, but all I know is if you want to have better relationships with your friends and family, you want to increase your value at your work, you want to expand and grow your business, get more done in less time, I urge you, sit on your seats, pull out your pen and paper, turn off your phone, lean forward and hold on to every single word that Dani says, because this will change your life.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
So we're talking about you getting that job or career it is that you have been wanting to find. We're also talking about, flip the table around, we're also talking about the boss, the manager, the business owner who is looking for talent as well. You know, it's expensive to hire somebody. It really is. And there's a lot of risk. There's so much risk in extending an invitation to a candidate to join the team. And you've got to be really, really careful because sometimes you can hire a jerk that ruins the team. hiring a jerk that doesn't even know they're a jerk, that can ruin the team, ruin the environment, the company morale. So you got to be really, really diligent. You don't want to be super fast with this process. You want to take your time. Even though the hole that you have, the position that you have available is a tough one to fill, you really got to take your time. I've been working for 6 months on one particular position to fill, and I'm taking my time. And why? Well, first of all, I've been able to see what my existing team is able to handle, and things have become much more efficient with this one role not being filled. So tell me to fine tune exactly what really does need to be filled, and a very specific person that I'm looking for. Instead of having a bunch of crossover and a mess of an organization, it helps to see exactly where the hole is. And then what we're looking for is someone to help grow something. And we've been able to maintain. And this is not the company, Destiny Global, the main company that I work with part-time, that I don't draw a salary from. The salary goes straight to the poor. But it's another organization that I oversee to the tune of millions of dollars a year, and making sure that those millions are going to the appropriate places. So anyway, you want to take your time. You want to be patient. You want to be wise, and you want to do your homework. And so if you're listening right now and you're on the job search, you really need to pay attention, because our next caller is someone who is an interviewer, and she's going to give her tips of what she does in that interviewing process. And her and I are going to chat a bit about some of the bad candidates that we've interviewed. And you might see yourself in some of those bad candidates. It has nothing to do even with your past. It has everything to do with your performance in the interview. You want to know what the interviewer is looking for. Nancie Orsini from Albany, New York, welcome to the show.
Yes. Hi, Dani. How are you?
Hi. So what is your position?
At times I will interview for my business, or I will interview for employers as well.
Okay.
When they're looking for a candidate.
Okay, cool. Really? We might need to talk. Okay, so you're a corporate recruiter?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so tell me, how do you prepare your clients, or how do you yourself prepare yourself for the interview?
Well, when first looking through the resumes and the request for an interview, I will look for gaps in their performance and in their job history, which to me shows whether they're committed, whether they're consistent, and whether they have control of their lives.
That's very true. And so explain gaps, because the person tuning in that is actually going on their next job interview, they have no idea what that internal term gaps means.
When I see gaps, whether it's a distance between jobs or what I call job hopping, that kind of turns me off.
Yep, me too.
That is, they don't know what they want, and they don't know what they're looking for.
Yep. Me too. Right away. I had many resumes that were passed on to me in 2017. I'm like, nope, they couldn't. I had one, and these were executives. Nancie, they were executives that every 2 years they were bouncing to the next thing. Oh boy, they were amazing. This one guy, amazing at trying to sell me, but he could not get a footing in anything. He did a lot of great work, but every 2 years he was moving on to the next thing. I'm not going to invest that kind of money into someone that doesn't know where they want to be.
No, because they're not selling themselves. They're moving on. If they if they get a no, they're moving on. So in essence, they're not selling themselves.
Yeah, and they're not committed to the job itself. Yeah, and there's always somebody to blame, right? So what do you notice? Have you ever interviewed somebody that had a lot of gaps? You know what I mean? They did a lot of job hopping. Have you ever interviewed somebody like that?
I have, and then I choose not to, because even their discussion is very all over the place, because they haven't had consistency, and that is the biggest problem.
Yeah, it is. Now, do you notice that those same exact candidates have been job hopping around, that they are the ones that start their cover letter with, I believe I'm the best candidate for, such and such corporation, and I believe that my skills are going to be beneficial. Have you found that to be the case?
Yes, and it's all talk.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's all talk.
Yep.
There's no consistency again, and there's no value to it.
Yep. Absolutely. I have noticed the same thing. Isn't it interesting? And let me ask you, when you have somebody ask you that, when they come in with that kind of response, or their cover letter says that, is that a red flag for you whenever you see, I believe I'm the right candidate for XYZ company because of all of my experience and my references will prove that, blah, blah, blah. Is that a red flag for you?
Definitely, because what it's showing is that I'm trying to prove myself and trying to prove who I don't believe in. I'm trying to get you to believe in me, and I don't believe in myself.
Yep. Yep. It's the same line. I can't tell you how many cover letters I see with that same statement and how many times I've had somebody say that in an interview, and yet they've got job hopping all over the place. They have no stability at all. And yeah, really? That to me is an instant red flag. Instant. It's like you are using the oldest interviewing skills from the 80s. This is 2018, boy. This is 2018, girl. Do not say that in your cover letter, and do not, by all means, say that in your interview. Thanks so much for talking. Thanks for sharing, Nancie. I appreciate you. This is Dani Johnson. We will continue with more right after this.
When we come back, Dani and a professional recruiter are going to give you a sneak preview into your next job interview. It might feel like you're cheating, but you're not.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, I was a depressed, hopeless, suicidal drug addict. I had no vision for my life. I absolutely hated people, hated myself. I felt shackled by my debt, and I had toxic relationships. Since plugging in, I've been drug-free for almost 18 months. I paid off nearly $14,000 worth of debt in 14 months. I have completely restored my relationships with my friends and my family. I have a vision for my life now, and I'm actually live and not exist anymore. So I don't know if you have debt or not, or if your life's going perfectly the way you want it to go. But if not, I highly recommend you get registered today for the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, we were just lost. We had no hope and light at the end of the tunnel, and we were drowning in debt. After coming to First Steps to Success and plugging into DaniJohnson.com, our income has doubled. We have paid off over $76,000 of debt in just 45 months. My husband and my communication skills have just raised us through the roof, and my husband has cut back his hours, making more income. If you want results like these, you better get to First Steps to Success.
I have been plugging into Dani Johnson for the last 8 years, believe it or not. And people say, why so long? Well, because there's a lot to do in life, and it has changed every area of my life. My business has exploded, my spiritual life has been unmatched, and my relationship with my wife and my family has just been fantastic. We've paid off over $200,000 of debt in just 2 years. We're debt-free, and I just could not be happier. But if you want to change any area of your life, whether it's your business, your marriage, your relationship with your kids, your financial situation, or getting out of debt, or your spiritual life, I would tell you, you cannot afford to miss First Steps to Success. It's just been a blessing to me and my family. So I really invite you to just get online and get your ticket to the next First Steps to Success. Thank you very much.
The way you look at things is about to change. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Did you know that there are 66 million Americans who are unemployed today? That is a lot of people. And out of that 66 million, almost 23% of them have been unemployed for 27 weeks or more. That's a long time. You know, and I hear often from people that there's no jobs out there. And then I hear the other side from clients, gosh, it's hard to find good talent out there. We know even internally that we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of applications just to find the one candidate that we're willing to take the risk on. So today, if you have found yourself in the position of the interviewer or the interviewee, today's show is going to equip you to succeed in both of those roles. You know, businesses tank because of having the wrong people in the business. And businesses succeed because of having the right people in the business. Where do you want to go in 2018? Do you want to grow that career? Do you want to grow your income? Do you want to grow the revenue of your business? If that being the case, then this one thing is really, really important. We've got Kathy Thomas joining us from Minnesota. Kathy, you are in a position where you interview people, correct?
Correct.
So tell me what you do to prepare yourself. First of all, I know that you heard my last segment about with Nancie, where I was asking the question of, is it a turnoff? Is it a red flag whenever somebody says, you know, I believe that I'm the candidate for the job because, and they start to sell you? Is that, are you put off by that too?
I am put off by that because they may not even know everything that we're even looking for in advance of that. So it's not the appropriate time really for that kind of a comment. Mm-hmm. After you've met and had an interview, that's different if they want to call out and reiterate some of the things that came up in the interview, but ahead of time, it's not the place for it.
Yeah. So what does that communicate to you when someone in their cover letter says that, or even when they step right into that interview and they say, I believe that I'm the right candidate for the job because of X, Y, Z? What do you feel like that is actually communicating? What's that telling you about that person?
Desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking for confidence in people, but that's confidence on steroids. Basically, it's not relaying the right thing. It's, what makes me want to dig deeper and find out what's causing them to say that and learn more about the person and then go from there and weed it out from there.
Mm-hmm. What it tells me is that they're walking in as a know-it-all, and I'm not looking for a know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it tells me that not only are they a know-it-all, but they think they understand what the needs are of the business. And the reality is they don't have a clue what the needs are of the business yet.
Right.
So they have kind of a preconceived idea. And that just kind of tells me it's a sign to me that they're unteachable. And unteachable is not going to be workable. At least in our organization, we want humility in our organization. We want somebody that, yes, has amazing experience, but somebody who knows how to learn and grow.
Yeah.
You know, not looking for some bullheaded dictator, to hire in a management or executive level or down, even below those levels. So it's really kind of interesting. All right. So Kathy, we got people listening right now that are, looking for jobs, and we've got people who are looking for people to hire. What would you say would be your best tip that you've found success in recruiting good talent?
Prepare in advance. So make sure you understand what that person's coming in with, what their background is, why they're looking. Make sure you have a preliminary conversation before you even schedule an interview. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be worth your time? Mm-hmm. So check that out ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And then... Can we do this? I want to hear what some of those questions are that you have in advance. We're going to cut here to a break in a minute. But I want you to kind of think about, what are some of the questions that you do ask? I'm going into an executive level interview tomorrow. And I got a long list of questions to find out really if this person is the person I'm looking for. When we continue after this, we'll hear what those questions are. This is Dani Johnson.
The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
You would think this would get easier. It doesn't. My name is Mia, and this is my awesome husband, Tony Gray. We're both from Maryland. Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, we were beyond a mess. Probably an earthquake would be a better description. We were very young and married in high school. I was pregnant at 13. I was abandoned, abused, often turned to drugs and alcohol. And we just didn't know what to do. We knew how to put on a facade and come out before people. We worked long hours. He was never, ever home. And he was losing relationships with me and the kids. We were at the divorce attorney, ready just to quit. We didn't know a way out, and our debt, we just hung ourselves, it seems, every day, just going to work, spending, and then there was debt. We didn't know what to do. But after filing bankruptcy twice, you would think, well, you know what to do then. Well, we didn't. We kept making stupid decisions. And we were really just ready to quit. We were ready to give up. And we didn't see that there was any hope. I was actually depressed a whole lot. And since we got married so young, we wanted to be like the rest of our family and be divorced, because we were the only ones that were married for a long period of time. We lost several kids, but God blessed us with that. And after plugging in with DaniJohnson.com, life changed forevermore.
It's funny, I heard Dani say, talked about Donald Trump, and that was my way of life. He did it. He was a multi-millionaire. He filed bankruptcy multiple times, but I knew that wasn't the answer. I was working more hours, had a six-figure income, and found we were in more debt. But since plugging into Warren Debt, in 36 months, we paid off $126,000. To me, it's all about giving back. And my wife has the biggest heart that I know, so it was her mission to not only get the information for us, but to share it in our community. So we had hundreds of people come to classes, but we had 92 people take action. And of those 92 people, in 34 months, they paid off $3.6 million.
Our marriage has been fully restored. Our children are absolutely amazing. They all own their own businesses. We raise 6 amazing kids every single day. And I can't tell you, without the DJU curriculum, without all of the products, we came at the beginning and we were piecemealing it, but that didn't work for us. You know how Dani says when you get the recipe, you need to get all the ingredients and not try to figure out, should I get the egg, should I get the milk? You just get it all and you follow directions. We follow directions and our life has changed forevermore. And we won't go back, we're just going ahead. So without further ado, help us bring back to the stage America's favorite millionaire, Miss Dani Johnson.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So, tomorrow I got a big interview. It's a position that I've been looking to fill for the last 6 months. I've got a long list of questions. Not only that, but I had preliminary interviews done by somebody else in our office. And those questions were deep, hard questions. And those questions were also asked of the references. And we've done our homework. We did our spying on all social media. We've asked for all of the details as far as, like, they say they have marketing experience. Hey, can I see some of your samples of some prior campaigns that you've done? Joining me now, I've got Kathy Thomas from Minnesota. She also is one who is in charge of interviewing and recruiting good talent into an organization. She's going to share some of her questions, and I'll share some of mine. So, Kathy, fire away.
So some of the questions that I ask is, why are you looking? What's the next point in your journey, in your career?
So let me ask you this. What are you looking for in an answer to both of those questions? Why are you looking? What are you looking for?
Why are you? I want them to tell me something that's forward-looking, not something as a Band-Aid to their past.
Tell me more about that.
Does that make sense?
Tell me more.
I didn't get this other job, so I came to you. Is not what I want to hear.
Mm-mm.
I want to hear, I see myself going this direction because it's a step in my journey to get to this end result, which may also be another opportunity in the company. It just shows that if the company invests in that person, that it's going to be worth the investment because it's going to go beyond the next step, that there's something more there.
That's really good. That's really, really good. Okay, what's another question?
I would ask, what are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish? You know, why this role? How does that fit into your overall vision? You know, and I'd want to know some character things too. Can we rely on you? Questions about, you know, can we rely on you? What would your last employers, you know, what did they say to you that just made you glow, that just you were so proud of, you know, kind of things. Can they say that with confidence, or is it going to come out with pride? You know, it's kind of what I want to.
So tell me what that looks like. What's the difference in your mind that when you ask that question, what is a pride answer versus a confidence answer?
A confidence answer sounds very fact-based. So I was able to achieve this goal of, you know, increase of 100% in 6 months by doing this, and that. It really made a difference in our company because it contributed in this way.
Okay.
Versus, I did this, you know, I made the decision to do this thing. It's very I-based.
Yep.
And not very humble. It sounds like they were just, you know, a dog on a bone, basically, just trying to get somewhere.
Yep. So you're saying confidence shows humility, actually. There's humility when this person says, this is what I did with a team. This is what we collaborated, right? So we're looking for some kind of thing that shows that they are not the lone star, you know, high general, everyone answers to me and I'm the best at everything and everyone else sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever asked the question, and do you look to dig on how I've asked this question many times, and people need to be prepared to have this answer, but it's really important. Tell me about your last failure.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, what was the last thing you did that didn't turn out the way you thought? You know, why did that happen? And and I want to hear, you know, we had a plan. You know, if they were just shooting for the stars, you know, just to see what happened, that's one thing. But if they really had a plan, you know, and something that went astray was not the end of the world, you know, that tells me that that's not that big of a failure. At least they made an attempt at something. You know, I'm going to also want to see if they don't have a failure, they're not very adverse to trying new things.
That's right. They're not trying. If they don't have an answer to that question, that means that they're not growing and they're not trying and they're risk adverse.
Exactly.
Right. And you know what's so funny? On the other side of the table, the interviewer feels like, oh, crap, I can't show that I've ever made mistakes. There's something that I tell also in an interview. I think I had, for me personally, one that I brought on board about 2 months ago. And again, this was a team effort, clearly a team effort. But interviewed her several times and kept asking the same question again and again. So when you fail, what's your response?
Oh, I love that question. That's a great question.
When you fail, what's your response? And this is what I told her. I said, I want to know what all your weaknesses are because I'm going to find them out within the first 30 days. So I much rather know what they are in advance walking into a relationship than to have to discover them myself. So I want you to tell me. Really, I want to hear them all. Tell me what your failures are. Tell me what your greatest weakness is. And I think it's funny when some people say, well, my greatest weakness is that I'm kind of a perfectionist. That's a dumb answer. Yeah. No, how about, okay, so then I get that answer. I've gotten that answer several times. Okay. So then my next question is, okay, so tell me how you failed because you were a perfectionist. Now you find out the real answer. Like, okay, well, you know, I have a tendency of taking a little too long on a project because I really want it to be perfect. And so sometimes I miss a deadline. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for you to make yourself look good in a weakness question. I'm looking for you to look bad. I want to know where you look bad up front because everyone has a bad spot. So what do you think of somebody that is not willing to share that kind of information from the interviewer standpoint?
I would probably shut down from an interviewer standpoint because it's not reality.
Yep.
It's not reality.
Yep.
It's just, it's human nature. I mean, we are not perfect.
Yep.
And so I would, I believe I would shut down. I'd probably close that interview down pretty quickly.
Yeah, because you don't want to waste time. And so the reason why I would close down that interview is that person is showing no humility. None. Mm-hmm. They have no humility. They can't own their mistakes or they're completely blind to their own weaknesses. They're blind to them. Mm-hmm. So that just, again, shows me pride instead of humility. Yeah. And pride is not going to work with our team. It's just clearly not going to work. Kathy, man, thank you so much. Can you think of one more question? Can you think of one more question that you can pass on today to our listener?
Tell me what others that you've worked with, other management and other team players, coworkers of you would tell me about you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I've asked that question as well, but I want to know what they say that's bad about you. What did you do that ticked off your last boss?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know in advance.
Hopefully they'll say that there was something they unknowingly did, but then they know.
Right. And even if they did something that they knew, they learned from it. So what did you get out of that? What was your response? You know what I mean? I want to know what those weaknesses are. And the reason is, again, I'm looking for humility. I'm looking for someone that can own their failures. Looking for somebody that has that kind of class to not position themselves as being perfect. Yeah. What would your boss say? What would they say? Would they say you're diligent? Oh, I think so. Well, tell me where you weren't diligent. What did that look like?
Yeah. Example, please.
Yep. This is awesome. Kathy, thanks so much for tuning in today and sharing from your personal experience as one who's interviewed and recruited lots of people. I think this prepares both sides, no question. So hey, listen, this, like I said, this is an important topic. Every Tuesday, we're going to bring you tips to succeeding in your career or business. Today, we brought you clearly what those tips are. And if you didn't learn anything over the last several minutes from Kathy or Nancie or Shelley, hello, you just ain't paying attention. So a lot of times people don't get jobs because they're not interviewing well. Get a hold of Job Domination. You're going to nail your next 3 job interviews, and you're going to have 3 different companies fighting for you. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what poverty-stricken families are dealing with in Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic needs of food, clean water, and safe housing. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming Nicaragua. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Nicaragua. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Helping you become all you were meant to be. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
We have Kezron from Jamaica joining us, willing to share. Kezron, we have about 1 minute. You said you've had good and bad interviewing experiences. Share with me a bad interviewing experience, and how did you overcome? Kezron, are you?
Yes.
There we go. Awesome. Share with us.
Yes. Okay, so a bad one. It was a few years ago. I had just graduated from college, and it was probably one of the very few interviews. And basically, it was my fault why it went bad, because it was going very well, and then I objected to move to one place to the other place. And basically right then and there, I showed inflexibility, unwillingness to adapt and learn. So right then and there, I lost the opportunity because I allowed my personal preferences at this point in time to dictate how I wanted it to go, rather than being flexible and open to what the person was saying.
You're dead on, Kezron, and that's exactly what companies are looking for. They're looking for flexibility. You know, it's so often that employees expect the company to be more flexible than they're willing to be themselves in a lot of cases. And often it's the other way around as well. The owners sometimes are expecting their employees to be more flexible than what the owner's willing to be. But flexibility is a trait that employers are looking for. They are looking for adaptable people. Why? The market is always moving. It's always changing. And so if someone is inflexible, then that person's going to break in the organization, or they're going to break others in the organization, because an organization is always moving and flowing, ebbing and flowing. That's just how it goes. A business is much like a raging river, or in some cases, it's a little creek. The bottom line is it's not straight. It is always moving with the wind, with the way that the dirt is. Do you understand? There's dirt, there's rocks, there's debris, there's trees that fall. You've got to be flexible. No question. And when you show yourself not to be flexible in an interview, it is only going to hurt you, and you're going to keep looking for more work. No question. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's program today. There's been so much awesome contribution by our faithful listeners to the Dani Johnson Show and viewers and audience. If you felt like this was beneficial, whether it was to you or you know somebody else that it's going to help, please share this. Freely you received today's message. Freely you can give it. And by the way, we've got a YouTube channel. If you have not come over to join us on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel right this very minute. You'll get notifications where you're going to get great tips every single day, 5 days a week, from a television show that airs around the country on cable television, as well as on, we stream it live on YouTube as well. And come on over to DaniJohnson.com. That's one N and an I. You'll find Job Domination in our shop. Gosh, friend, I'm telling you, if you have a plan to nail that job interview, then don't use the same skills that you used in the past. Get some fresh, up-to-date, new millennium skill sets that are going to help you really cherry pick the right place, as well as get job performance strategies that are going to help you immediately. This is Dani Johnson from all of us here on the Dani Johnson Show. Goodbye. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.